stream. I'm sorry, David.
Welcome everybody, Week 11, VVR, GT3 GTP Road Racing Series. I'm here with one of my best colleagues, Robert Church. I'm Michael Strickland. We're going to be commentating this wonderful race we're going to be having here at Willow Springs. What's going on, Church?
Oh, not too bad. Track looks really interesting. You know, it's 600 acres, so it's got 8 or 9 different racetracks on this property, so including Willow Springs Road Course. So be interesting to see. It doesn't look like very many GTPs showed up, but we got some GT3s.
Yeah, it's towards the tail end of the season. Willow Springs is one of the newer racetracks for iRacing. Generally, when you have some of these newer tracks, what's going to happen is you're going to have some guys not be able to show up, probably because they don't own the track. It is towards the tail end of the season, so you start seeing some of the participation drop down a little bit, but doesn't mean we're not going to have some high impact racing, especially in this GT3 series. There's a lot on the line tonight, since this is the Week 11 and the last regular season race before we head into the playoffs. Right now, they're just finishing up qualifying. They got about 30 seconds or so before qualifying is over. We're just watching Kobe Hartung take a couple laps, finishing up his qualifying lap, and then we're going to get the grid here in just a second. Let's look at the grid information. All right. Steven Salas is going to start up front in the GTP class. He's going to be individually by himself. Looks like Nate Bickert got the poles. Dave Steiner, Kobe Hartung, Tyler Hammond, Mark Retchen, and the infamous Brad Dove. It's going to be in the GT3 series. It's going to be pretty exciting.
It's good to see Brad Dove out here. He doesn't really run some very much road, but yeah, it's good to see him out here cruising.
Yeah, it's always good to get Brad Dove out here. He's more known for the oval stuff. However, he is he's always consistently trying to improve. He's out here to try to learn these GT3 cars. I think he's in a Ferrari. He's going to be starting from the pits, though. He has a penalty that's carrying over from a prior incident he had 1 or 2 weeks ago. So he's going to start from the pits. Just a slight infraction, so we might see him hang around in the back for a little while. It's not going to be too detrimental for him. In fact, it might be something he's looking forward to, just coming out there and drive by himself for a couple of laps. But it should be good. Let's see how it unfolds as they start driving off here.
Yeah, once again, to elaborate for everybody watching, race control will be sending these guys off. And I don't know if they're going to send off just the one GTP by itself and then the GT3, or they're just going to send them all off at once.
So from the pre-race narrative, the rules are generally we want each group to go independently. So as you can see, the GT3 cars are kind of slowing down a little bit to let Steven Salas up front. So they're going to let the GT3 cars go. They're going to this is going to be one of the longer parade laps around the track. It's going to let the guys get familiar with the track, take it slow. And what's going to happen is once they come around the last corner and they're on the straightaway, the race controller is going to give the go-ahead, and they're going to end up going independently. So the GTP cars, which is Steven Salas, is going to go first, and then you're going to see the remaining GT3 group go about 10 seconds after.
Yeah, it ought to be a fun track to watch, fun race to watch. The track, this place is located about an hour north of Los Angeles, California, so it kind of gives people the idea of where it's located in California. Its first race held here was November 23rd, 1953, so it's a pretty old track. With that said, it's the oldest. It is the oldest permanent road course in the United States, so pretty old.
It's also known to be one of the fastest tracks, if not one of the world's fastest tracks out in the West Coast. We're coming out here to the West Coast in California. Beautiful late afternoon, dipping into the dusk. You can see some of these. You can see all these cars. They got their lights on. There's a reason for that. It's going to get dark. I might not get pitch black, but it's definitely going to get to the point where, you know, they're going to have to pick up their corners a little bit earlier than they normally do.
Yeah, you're new to this. You're new up here in the broadcast booth, so you're going to be able to actually see firsthand when it gets dark how cool these cars light up with these LED lights and stuff on them.
You know, these cars are awesome. Each driver has the opportunity to choose an LED strip color. There's multiple colors they can choose. It's an option iRacing allows them to take part of. Most guys don't really change them, but you know, you can get green, purple, blue. It's just a cool little incentive or additive that iRacing does. I know the IMSA guys specifically do that for you know, where you can actually view them a little bit better, especially in the pitch black. But I don't know if anybody's chosen anything. I think I saw a couple guys with some green strips and some purple strips, but it looks like we're about to go racing here. It looks like the GTP car is about to go. Steven Salas up in the front. We're sitting inside Nate Biggert's car. He just took off. GT3 class is on its way. Let's drop it into exciting. Let's see what we can see.
We are green here at Willow Springs.
Let's go on a little aerial view here. We're going to go to an exciting view. Just make sure that we look at everybody as best as we can. Nate Biggert is in the lead. Kobe Hartung in second. David Steiner dropped back to third.
Yep, like you said, Brad Dove is going to start in the pits. He's rolling out of the pits now, and he's off.
Just gotta. I mean, this is a wonderful track, to be honest with you. I was looking forward to this track before the season started. This was one of the tracks that I wanted to race in. Unfortunately, we had to cycle around a couple of things, and I got to be up in the booth to call the race instead of actually being in the race. But man, it was definitely one of these tracks that I had marked down that I wanted to definitely take a look at and race. Fast, a lot of sweeping fast corners. You got some elevation changes as well. You're going to see that here in just a second.
Yeah. No, it's good to have you up here, man. It's you know, it's a different animal from being in the car for sure. But no, it's thank you for taking your time, getting out of the car and coming up here and filling in for us. Appreciate it.
No problem. This is another animal up on itself. It's fun to come up here and look at it through a different perspective than actually being out at the racetrack, racing myself. Feel bad for the competitors because I can't be out there. Looks like one of the cars did dip into the dirt a little bit. Looks like it was Tyler Ham coming out of that corner, but he saved it. But all in all, it's going to be a great race.
Yeah, it'll be a good race for sure. It'll be exciting when it gets dark because then it gets a little bit tougher to see the cars from up here. It's a lot of fun.
Let's jump in here. See, you're going to see it. You're going to go up on the right here, come back down, and this is the fastest part of the track. It's the third half of the track. You're going to get this long sweeping right-hander. There's so much speed here. Expert driver should be able to hold it wide open all the way around this last turn, and then you head right back down to the straightaway. Tons of speed. You got to be careful. Don't hit that rumble strip. Shoot back out to that dirt side on the left side of the track. Let's ride in this cockpit here for about a lap just to see what the drivers are seeing at this beautiful California West Coast Willow Springs.
Yeah, you were talking about that last turn 9 corner there before they come back towards the start-finish line. They don't have a name for it. It's just called turn 9. But if they had to call it, if any of the drivers had to call it something, they would call it terrible corner. It seems like there's a lot of skid marks that lead up to that corner, and a lot of drivers lose it on turn 9. So watch for that.
Oh, Steven Salas is off. He's slowing down. Looks like the GT3 class got around him. He might be having some mechanical issues. Let's jump in his car just to see what's going on. No, he's he's up to speed. He's okay. It looks like he might have just wanted to ride behind the GT3 class. We'll jump back.
You know why he did that, right? He did that so he had somebody to race. I mean, he wasn't going to sit out front by himself the whole time. He wanted to let those guys by, so he could at least have some fun and try to race these guys.
Something might be wrong with him. He's riding around in third gear this entire time. So let's see if he goes into the pits here. He's going real slow, heading into that fast corner back to the straightaway. He's staying on the track, so maybe he's just, like you said, he just wants to see somebody cruise around and see what they're doing. We'll jump back into David Steiner's car. He's in third place. Nate Biggert and Kobe Hartung, they're battling for first place. This should be a good view for the next lap or so, just to see what they're seeing, how they're tackling this race, and some of the aesthetics of the actual track.
Yeah, all season long, the GT3 class, it's been really good racing watching these guys. So, you know, pretty much just being the GT3s really tonight ought to be pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah. So we're riding around in David Steiner's car. He's in a BMW, and these cars, I hate the way that they sound. I mean, it's a gorgeous car, but when you're inside, they're just too quiet. It's, I don't know, I like a throaty V8 sounding car. Check out the difference. So we're in David Steiner's in-car camera. What we're going to do is we're going to jump into Nate Biggert's car. He's in a Mercedes. Look at the sound difference. So here we're in David Steiner. Let's go into Nate's. Listen to that muscular sound in this Mercedes. And as we say that, Kobe Hartung making the pass on the outside.
There he goes.
Oh, that was close. Kobe tried to make the pass on the inside. Nate was not having any of that. None whatsoever. But yeah, we were talking about sound. Yeah, those Mercedes to me are the ones that sound the best in comparison to the remainder of the cars. I think visually the BMW is one of the better looking cars. We got in this IMSA series, what do we have? Mercedes, BMW, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Ford GTs, which nobody seems to be running. Am I missing any out there, Church? Well, those are the GTP cars. We're talking GT3s right now.
Okay. Yep.
Porsche. How can we forget Porsche? And we got Retchen back in the back running an Audi. Now the Audi sounds just as good as that Mercedes. Let's jump into that Audi and see what Retchen's doing back here. Let's jump in his cockpit and see what his point of view is.
Yeah, turn one's called Castrol Corner. Supposedly somebody that came up with the name of it because every time they were around that corner they could smell Castrol. Castrol as being an oil or something, I'm not for sure.
Yeah, Castrol. That's Castrol is a huge oil manufacturer. I thought one of those big drag racing guys. Who's the guy that's been winning all these? John Force. Didn't he run the Castrol car for a little while?
Yeah, he did years ago, the Castrol GTX car. Yeah. Turn 2 is called the Rabbit Ear. Turn 3 is called Budweiser Balcony. And it was named because of thousands of Budweiser beer cans that are in that area every time there's a race here, and people got to pick them up and the beer cans and stuff.
What turn is that?
That would be Budweiser Balcony. It'd be turn 3.
Budweiser Balcony. I like that.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what corner they're going into now. What number? Let's see. They are going right.
They're going up the hill right now. At least Steiner is.
So it would be turn. Anyway.
Either way, these guys are awesome. This is definitely an awesome track. We got a late entry into the broadcast booth, Mr. Bryant Lucas, also known as the Road Racing Ringer. Welcome, Bryant. How you doing, buddy?
That was way too much introduction.
We got to give you a red carpet introduction. I mean, this man is what everybody's been clamoring about. He's done a couple of broadcasts for us. He's been in the booth, and every time he's up here, everybody says, give me a little bit more of that Brian. Or Bryant, my apologies.
Yeah, it's good to have somebody in here that knows their road racing. I never would have thought doing this I would be broadcasting road racing. If anything, it'd probably been more like dirt oval. But here we are, and we're having fun doing it.
That's what it's all about. We're here for the community. We want to make sure everybody can go back and relive these experiences. I mean, sitting back and watching these races from a different perspective, it's almost impossible to realize how difficult it is what they're doing. You know, these guys spend all week practicing for these races. They adjust on their cars. You got to remember, this is an open series. These guys build their setups specifically to be good for that track. Now, Willow Springs is one of those newer tracks, so there's not a lot of base setups for this track. So these guys got to put forth a lot of effort to build a specific setup that's going to be able to, hold them off for the entire run. And so far, so good. I mean, everybody's staying on the track. I'm not seeing a lot of guys get too crazy for the most part. I've seen a couple guys hit the dirt a little bit, but they're doing a hell of a job so far.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty kind of like cookie cutter track. More so, I mean, the long corners, not so much slamming on using your whole bunch of brakes, but it looked like a fun track.
It actually is a great track. Oh, Kobe, we're in Kobe's car right now, in Kobe's cockpit. Speaking of setups, it looks like he didn't nail this setup because coming over the hill there, he's getting tight, getting off the corner, he's getting loose, so he's fighting it. He's trying to stick with Nate. Nate's getting smaller and smaller in his front windshield. So either Nate's got it down or Kobe's struggling a little bit, maybe a little combination of both, but they're still banging.
Yeah, it looks like you got Nate leading, Nathan Bigart leading it, Cohart in second, David Snyder third, Tyler Hammond fourth, Mark Retchen fifth. Mark Retchen, it's good to see him back.
Dude, we all love a little bit of Mark. Mark took a little break for about a week or so, and sometimes, iRacing just overwhelms you, right? And sometimes you just need a break. You need to get away for a little while. We run almost 5 days, probably 7 days out of the week here at ChopShop. We're always running something, and you can just get burnt out. Mark took a little break. It's definitely awesome to have him back. He's one of the best personalities that we have here, and one of our better drivers. One of the better, well-rounded drivers. He's a hell of a driver in the Oval Series, and he holds his own when it comes to the Road Series. And he is in this Audi car here, right?
Yeah, he was talking to me during the week. He was running a lot of road officials and in the Ferrari, and he was doing pretty well. He even made it up to B class in road, I believe. So, or maybe it's A class. I'm not for sure. But yeah, he's really starting to be able to wheel it around a road course. That's for sure.
For those that don't know or are not familiar with iRacing, iRacing has a tiering system, a licensing system. So when you first join, you join as a rookie, and then you can tier up or move up depending on your success level in that current series that you're in. So when Robert just said Mark's been working on his official races and he's up to a B or A class, that's the top tier of that class. So in order for a driver to get to that point, he's had to put a lot of time and effort to advance. What would you say, Church? It'd probably take how many, if you're in the rookie series and you wanted to get to, what's the next one, the D level? How many races do you think it would take you to get to the next level?
Me? Personally,
Anybody. Let's just say it's, you're talking to the public here. If somebody just recently joined iRacing, what would it take to get to that next level?
well, if you stay out of trouble and just stay towards the back to get used to just driving around and staying out of trouble. Oh, it looks like we got one off the corner.
It looks like it's David Steiner. He is off the track. Let's see what just happened. Here's the slow-mo of David Steiner. Looks like he's coming in hot. Hot, hot, hot. I don't know if his brakes just did not go. He went straight into the desert. And did he hit the wall? Oh, yeah, he got some air. Oh, my goodness, are you watching this?
That's too bad for David Steiner.
Oh, my goodness, we got to watch this inside his car. What happened? Let's take a look at that again, but let's look at it from his car point of view. What happened with Mr. David Steiner? So here's that slow-mo again. He's coming in hot. Once you're in the dirt, you're done. And there's no stopping at that point. He's just coming, driving through the desert dirt, and he gets airborne, smacks the wall. Oh my goodness. What a horrible, horrible situation for David Steiner. Now the good news is he does have a fast repair.
Yeah, we'll see if he uses it, which I'm sure he will. That's really unfortunate for Steiner because, he usually does pretty good. It just sounded like he set it in a little too hot.
Is he our points leader? I think Steiner, I believe, is in the point lead. We'll have to double check that here in a second.
Correct. I'll check right now. David Steiner is in the lead for the championship GT3s. He's got a 51-point lead over Nathan Bigart.
So let's jump in with Brad Dove because Brad Dove just took over David Steiner's spot. He's in this Ferrari. It's a beautiful Mobil 1 Ferrari. We haven't talked a lot about Brad Dove. He started in the pits. He's just cruising, probably just riding around, making sure that he's not getting in anybody's way. And sometimes, going back to what we were talking about, how long it would take to go from rookie class to D class. Well, Dove is a perfect example of that. He's doing exactly what I would recommend somebody do when they're just trying to advance. He's just staying out of trouble.
Yeah. I was watching him earlier as he was, Dove was letting these other guys by and caught up to him. He just let him go and he just kept it out of trouble.
The funny thing is, there's a cliche in racing: slow is fast, right? And that's so true. And that is so true when all you're trying to do is just stay out of trouble and finish and gain points. Once you jump in these cars at any level, whether it be oval or dirt or road racing, once you jump in the car feels good. You start to go a little bit faster, and you start to lose sight of where you're at. You could lose sight of where you're at. If you're trying to increase your points, you just got to take it easy. There's aliens. We call them aliens here in iRacing. There's just guys that are built to destroy, to slay, right? These guys that just are untouchable. And those guys might be able to join, even in the rookie class, come in and just destroy the field just because they got it down. But for the masses, taking it easy, just like Brad Dove's doing, that's definitely going to get you to advancement, right? You're going to keep advancing. You're going to learn your craft. You're going to get better and better as you move through the iRacing tiering system.
Yep, and the more trouble you get into, the more off tracks, the more running into people or crashes you get involved in, the longer it's going to take you to advance. But I'd say you do, 4, 5 races that are clean. It should get you pretty close to advancing, which would be from rookie to D class.
Yeah, there's 4 clean races, and when we say clean races, iRacing considers a clean race incident free. Now, any incident that you could be part of would be driving off the track, sliding your tires, spinning, bumping into another car. All of those are considered incidences. So what iRacing's wanting you to do is trying to train you to just stay clean. Stay clean and be a good competitor amongst your peers. They also tier you or rank you based off of your current skill level. So generally you're going to be running around guys that are your skill set. If you're a rookie, you're going to run around rookies. If you're an alien like Robert Church is in the Dirt Series, you're going to run around aliens. So that's the cool thing about iRacing. They do a hell of a job figuring out where you belong.
Talking about aliens, you know, I can't forget about you with the Oval Series. So, Oval. So.
I'm no alien. I'm no alien. There's aliens. Speaking of aliens, we're looking at one right now. Nathan Biggert is still leading the GT3 series. Who do you got in the? If you had to make a call today, you gonna pick a driver? Who's your driver?
The long shot, but I'd like to see Steiner come back and see what he can do from getting off track there. But yeah, if not Steiner, I got to go with my boy. I got to go with Mark Retchen. But that's another probably big odds. But you never know. You never know, like I said. So I'd have to go with either David Steiner coming back or Mark Retchen.
Yeah, it's hard to pick guys. Usually,
especially if you like them all. If you like them
Yeah.
all, it's hard to pick one. So, I mean,
the community's awesome. Is what Robert's trying to say is our community's awesome. We got awesome guys. How can you pick against one versus another? You can't. You just gotta point and shoot. Yeah, point and shoot and see if it works out.
They all win in my book. But no, turn four. Well, where'd it go? Turn 4 is the best place on the track to watch. You can see the whole track from turn 4. Where'd it go? Yep. This is where spectators can view the entire race course.
Is it kind of like a hillside?
Yeah, like a hillside balcony. It's higher because
Wait a second.
because
Yeah.
turn 3 is Budweiser balcony, so there's got to be some sort of like balcony over there that, because it's right there, right in front of them is turns 3 and 4, and 5, and yeah, so it's the best seat in the house.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. When they go up the hill, there's some grandstands up top that says Willow Springs. We'll jump in the cockpit of one of these cars here in a second.
I'm looking at the track map right now. If I could pull it up, I could show you, point right to where it's at. If you look above, if you're looking at a track map, you go around you go across the start finish line. You take that long sleeping right hand corner, and then you go around like a little S left, and then it goes sharp all the way around to a right-hander. That right-hander, if you're looking at a track map, it's the big sharp right-hander on top of the map.
So we're coming up to it. We're in the cockpit currently with Nathan Biggert. So here's turn 1, I believe. We're going around turn 1. And then he's going to be taking a left-hander here. Turn 2. Another right-hander, turn 3, and there's the grandstands up there. So There they are.
There it is, right there.
Yep.
That's the corner.
That's where everybody's at.
At Budweiser balcony.
Yeah,
and you can see the entire track from there. Best seat.
That actually does look like some really good seats up there. Probably some expensive seats. Those premium seats that everybody tries to get, they get sold out quicker than everything else.
So you're coming out of turn 4 there. In turn 5, they race down. They run down a big hill, and they make a left turn of 90 degrees around a natural mound and towards Monroe Ridge. So going through 5, they go down the hill and they make that 90-degree left, or that left-hand turn. Turn 6 is Monroe Ridge. From turn 5 to turn 6, the road course raises in elevation at the crest.
It's a wonderful track. It flows real well. It's high speed. There's some tight corners or at the early part of the race. The turn 3, 4, and 5 probably the tightest. But then everything else flows real good. See, Kobe's going up the hill right now. There he is.
So turn 6 is Monroe Ridge. They call it Monroe. You ever heard of like Monroe shocks?
I've heard of Marilyn Monroe.
Yep. Okay. They have shocks out there.
Yeah.
The brand they're called Monroe. Anyway, it's called that because when they go up and they hit that crest and they make that right-hand bend, it seems like any vehicle, it doesn't matter if it's a car, a bike, because they run motorcycles here too. They seem to, the heavier cars will lift, the heavier cars will lift on the inside of the wheel. So when you're going up on that crest and you take that bend, you're getting the tires off the ground in some of them heavier cars, lighter cars.
It's a beautiful track. I didn't think it was going to get dark this quick, but we're about 25 minutes into a 1-hour race. And I mean, the sky's still relatively light, but you can see there is no stadium lighting around Willow Springs. I mean, the only light they're really getting is a little glistening from the sky and their headlights for the most part, but it's getting dark. We might end up in pitch black darkness here at the end of the race.
Oh yeah, it gets harder and harder to see up here when it gets black. So you can see the headlights and you can see the Christmas trees driving around, with all the lights on.
So currently, if I'm looking at everybody's gap, everybody's pretty much spread out roughly about the same. You got Nate Biggert leading, and he's got about a 20-second gap on Kobe. Kobe's in second, running about a 10-second gap on Mark, which is where we're running now inside cockpit. Mark Retchen. Mark's got a 7-second lead on Tyler. We'll jump in with Tyler, see if he can even see Mark. Yeah, see, it looks like they're just driving by themselves. That 7-second gap. And then from there, Steiner is back onto the track, but he obviously lost a lap. So Steiner maybe, he's hoping these other guys get in trouble. Pretty much is his luck. Brad,
you were talking. Oh, good.
What was that?
You were talking about Tyler Hammond. It's good to see him out there. Hopefully his grandparents are watching.
Grandpa and Grandma, if you're out there, Tyler is awesome. He is an awesome driver. We love having him in the series. He's the youngest driver we have in the series, I believe. Now, don't quote me on this. I think he's 16 years old.
I think he's definitely the youngest.
Yeah, 16 years old. Doesn't even have a driver's license, but can wield a Porsche GT3 like no other.
And he just always looks so smooth. And any track he goes to and runs on, watching him all season long, it doesn't look like he's pushing the car. But I'm sure there's times that he is. But it just looks like he's just so, I guess, consistent. I mean, he's just cruising, and he goes places too, doing that. So
he's had lots of success. Now, what probably is going to separate him here in the near future is his ethics, his work ethic. Right? If this was a job, he puts forth the work required to get better. He won't jump into the track without practice.
Right.
Who knows how long he's been practicing to get to this point today. It might have been 2 or 3 days of full practice. When he has the opportunity, when he's able to pull and pry that sim rig out of his dad's hands, he's probably out there practicing for this next week. So he's got a good head on his shoulder. He knows what's going to be required to be successful, and I'm excited to have him for our future series because year in and year out, season in and season out, he's going to be somebody to watch.
Yeah, dedication is what I would call it. He's got the dedication to try to do well at these tracks, and he shows. He practices, and yeah. So dedication gets you a long ways in the future.
We're riding around with Nate Biggert again. Let's figure out what makes this guy so good. He's hugging the inside, sweeping it up. He's using every bit of the racetrack, coming up the hill, downshifting. He's not breaking loose. He's good on the throttle. He's coming out of the corner. He's not breaking loose. Rolls back into the throttle. He's so efficient when it comes to throttle control. And that's why this guy's leading. I mean, you see him. He's not even dancing around. He's just, the car looks so planted and well controlled. And that's not an easy car to drive. The Mercedes is actually one of the faster cars in that series. But it's a driver's car. It's so difficult to drive. Yeah, he's doing a wonderful job. Kobe's 10 seconds behind him. Let's jump in with Kobe. Let's see how he's doing. He looks like he's still battling, but he's doing great. I mean, he is definitely far more engaged with the wheel than Nate is. He is battling this car. Now, he's in the BMW. The BMW is also known to be one of the better handling cars in the GT3 series, but you can see Kobe just wheeling the car.
And those lights look cool in those cars. I was almost watching Mark Gretchen's lights.
So I think that's one of the newer generation front lights and bumpers. BMW changed their bumpers a couple of years back. A lot of the purists, the BMW purists, did not like that new look that BMW went with. Now, I personally am not a BMW guy, and I did like it. It looked pretty futuristic, and it definitely looks good. Let's take a look at those lights right here. Here he comes in the front.
You do that, and I'll talk about the next corner. So we had Monroe. Monroe, what was it? Turn 6 was Monroe Ridge. We'll go to turn 7. It's called Wings Leg, like wings, like bird's wings. It's the fastest bend on the racetrack. So they go down that long 1,000-foot straightaway, and they hit Wings leg for a what was it, left-hander? Yeah, left-hander.
A left-hander. Are you talking about turn 1?
Nope, turn 7.
Turn 7. Okay, yeah.
So you go down, you come off of Monroe's Ridge up there, and then you go down that 1,000-foot straightaway.
So Kobe's about to start going to that. Let's jump in his cockpit, take a look at that, and let's see what's this Monroe Ridge all about. So here comes up, turn 3 and 4. He's coming up to those prime seats up there where it says Willow Springs. Coming down the hill. Hot. This is where you start rolling into the throttle, and then here's that left-hander Church was talking about. Now to a tight right-hander.
Yep.
And then here's a straightaway. Or not straightaway, but where you at least get up to speed, and then that long, swooping right-hander right here.
And
to me,
swooping right-hander, that's the name of the corner. It's called the sweeper.
It's the sweeper. It's unlike, I don't recall any other track that has a turn like this. I'll have to get back to you on that one because I don't recall any other track that has a long sweep and turn. It really reminds you of an oval track, like a Pocono turn 1.
Yeah.
Sweeping fast. You can make a lot of time there, especially if you're drafting somebody coming out of the corner. That's definitely a location where you can utilize the draft and then pass the guy on the next turn.
Yeah, so going into that corner, I mean, the driver, they're about at top speeds coming out of Wings Leg there and going into the sweeper. So I lost what I was going to say. Anyway, it's called the sweeper. It's where a lot of the action happens.
As you can see, we are heading into a darker and darker race course. A lot of these cars, we were talking about these neon lights that these drivers can use. What do we call them? LED lights earlier.
Yeah,
You
LED
can
light.
see Brad Dove doesn't have his turned on. He's the Ferrari that's just about to get past. Nate Bigger just passed him, and you can see Nate's got those neons on the door. What do they call those? Pillars.
Pillars,
His are it's purple, runs all the way back down the car, and those are the options that you can choose post-race. I mean, pre-race. You can kind of choose those options. A lot of these guys don't really pay attention to that because they're inside the car. They don't care how the exterior does. But us that we're out here watching it, it definitely makes the car look a little bit cooler when you got those LEDs running.
Christmas trees.
Christmas trees, yeah, you got those Christmas strips.
Christmas trees.
And Nate's dominating. So far, he has pulled up a gap to 24 laps. We had a couple of guys come in and off of the pit road. We ended up missing some of those entrances. Let's see. Kobe entered pits. Let's go into Kobe's view here. Let's see what he's doing. So everybody's pretty much running out of fuel. Generally, these cars will get you to about 3/4 of the way through the entire run before you have to fuel. So we were what? How many minutes are we into this race? We're about 35 minutes into the race. So yeah, it's time for them to start pitting. Looks like Brad Dove took a pit. Steiner pitted. Kobe pitted. Retchen still has not pit, and Tyler Hammond still hasn't pit. So right now, Retchen's running second, Tyler's running third, and they were able to pull those positions off because the guys in front of them ended up pitting. So they might be going pit strategy. What do you like to do? You like to go in before the guy in front of you or after the guy in front of you? Do you want to beat him into the pits, or you want to be after he pits? What do you usually like to do in race?
For a road course, that'd be the question to ask Brian. What about you? Got a copy, Brian?
Oh yes, sir. I was just sitting here waiting.
What's your answer to that question? Do you like to, on road courses? Do you like to pit before or after the driver in front of you?
It depends on what your tires are feeling like. If your tires feel good, you need to stay out. The lighter your fuel load, the faster laps you're going to be running. So if you can run the full 45-minute stint without burning out your tires, you're going to run faster laps than the other guy is going to be running on fresh tires. Warm tires actually run better at road courses. So, it's kind of like it takes time to warm up those tires, and if you can even go the whole race without taking tires, that's good too. But also, if you can get as many fast laps as you can in with low fuel, that's going to bode good for you for the end of the race.
I told you he had a good answer for that.
So, from what I hear, is you want to stay out as long as you can because you want to have that low fuel load, assuming you got your tires underneath you.
Yes, sir.
Great analysis, Bryant Lucas. That's why this man gets paid the big bucks.
Way better answer than I would have given.
I would have said whenever you want to go in and get some ice cream, that's when you pit.
Yeah. Yeah, that track really gets dark, doesn't it? Watching Nathan Bigger go around Brad Dove here.
Yeah, we're generally, these cameras that we're focusing in on are pretty much in-car cameras now at the moment, because if we go outside on the car, it's just like driving on the interstate when it's 10 o'clock at night. All you're seeing is lights out there. So we're trying to cycle through. We're currently running with Mark Retchen, running in second place. Nate has not pitted yet, so he's stretching it out. He's got about a 26-second lead on Mark. Mark's got about a 12-second lead on Tyler for third. And then you got Kobe coming up fast in fourth because he's already pitted.
Yeah, if you watched behind Nathan Bigger there, here comes David Steiner. So trying to get his lap back, it looks like.
So there's David right there running Nathan Bigger down. Odds are he probably went in there and took some tires. Lucas, what's your call on tires?
It really
take
depends. So, like I said, warm tires are sometimes better, but also you don't want to get to the end of the race and be sliding all over the place and losing a lot of time. So it really depends on how worn you are and how skilled you are as well. Are you skilled enough to take care of those tires? Are you skilled enough to drive that loose, nasty, greasy tires around? It depends on the driver and the tires, and you be able to take care of those tires and how bad the track is. So if I get through that race and those tires are still gripping really good, I'm halfway through, we're gripping really good, everything feels solid, nothing's changed, I'm taking no tires and I'm risking it for the biscuit. But I'm gonna go long. I'm gonna go long, 45 minutes in, as long as I can on fuel, and we're gonna see the tires feel. Then if they still feel good, we're going to just gas and go, because tires are what take really long if you're not filling up all the way.
Great.
Yeah, so with it being dark, is it that these tires are a lot more cooler, the track's cooler? Are they able to save more tire with it being dark rather than daylight?
Yes, this tire is going to be very nice to them with the current conditions. So my call on this racetrack right now would be 100% stay out with these tires and just run it.
That's a great analysis by Bryant Lucas. I mean, this is why he's in the booth. This is the man we want to ask those technical questions to. He's going to know. He's going to give you the ins, the outs, everything that you're going to need to make that proper decision. I mean, somebody out there is listening. Definitely hire this man as crew chief. That's who you want in the tower.
Yeah, who is it? Is it Larry McReynolds?
America's crew chief.
He gets specs on the cars, the ins and outs on them?
Well, I mean, if you want a crew chief, Chad Knaust, right?
Yeah.
Not only is he going to give you all the technical aspects of it, but he's going to definitely give you those extra horsepower NASCAR doesn't know about.
Yeah, I was trying to think of that. I think it was Larry Mack.
Larry Mack, yeah. He'll give you the breakdown. We're watching Retchen ride around Brad Dove right now. He's trying to get around Brad Dove. It's dark. Retchen's trying to get the run to get around him. Brad Dove's not giving it up very nicely, nor is he supposed to. You know, he's going to run hard regardless. He's taking away all the preferred lanes for Retchen. Retchen's struggling a little bit to get around. Oh, he's in the dirt just a little bit. Saved it. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, talking about Brad Dove, I mean, he's doing pretty good for never being on this track and everything. That was close. That was close.
Yeah, that was close. It looks like Dove was giving him the position. He went on the high side. That's the type of racing etiquette you can expect when you're racing at ChopShop. I mean, for the most part, they're going to fight you for it. But if you get around somebody, they know they're a little bit faster than you, or you're a little bit faster than them. For the most part, they're going to give you a lane where you can take advantage of it. So hopefully both of you guys can make that pass, and then you can avoid a horrible outcome. And that was real close. I think both of them touched the dirt at one point.
But also remember that it's called racing. So there's times these guys ain't going to give, they ain't going to give up the position easily. And Brad Dove's one of those people that he'll be laps down and the leader will try to lap him again, and he's going to race the leader. So, he's does a lot of fun to watch. He's aggressive, but it depends what day you get him on, a good day or a bad day. So whether he'll race you or let you go. And tonight he's in a good mood, so he's letting you go.
Dove just went a little bit wide, went into the dirt there, but he saved it right behind Retchen. Give me a couple of names of some drivers that you're, just like we said, Brad Dove. He's going to fight you for it. Who's some other drivers in the series that when you're running, you're pulling up to this one guy and you say to yourself, "Oh man, here we go." Anybody that comes to mind? And that goes for you, Bryant, as well as Robert.
I mean, it's hard to say if we're going to stick with just road, or are we going with anybody.
We can remember we encompass all types of racing here, so any and all races.
I'd say Kobe Hartung's probably one of them.
One of the tougher guys to get around.
Yeah.
I have to agree with him. That's the first one I thought of.
He's not just going to let you by. He'll race you, whether he's a lap down or not.
I mean, is it Brad Dove? Yeah. So I would concur. Kobe, he's currently running 4th, and he's in that BMW. But boy, let's jump in his car. This man is a walking roadblock in certain occasions. He's just so fast, and he's got great car control that he's able to take the air away from you, make you tight, make you loose, get up to you, squeeze you. And these are all racing terminologies. Squeezing means you're getting close to the guy's driver door, and what that does is it takes the lane away from you, and it makes you either push, which means you usually get tight, or you get loose, which makes the back end of the car start to slide around. And what that does is it makes you break loose and lose some speed, and then you gotta go back and try to make the pass again. And Kobe generally is just not going to hand it to you. So I concur.
Right.
I'm in 100% agreement. So Nate Biggert just went into the pits, and guess who's leading? Mr. Mark Retchen.
That'll put Tyler Hammond up second.
Tyler is currently listed in 3rd, or did Nate go on? No, Nate is still on the track. What happened? No, Nate pitted, yep.
Yeah, Nate came out between Mark and Tyler. So Kobe Hartung has caught Tyler Hammond. Well, actually, Tyler Hammond's been holding his ground pretty good there back to Kobe Hartung. So good job for Tyler Hammond. He's not been losing time.
You just heard our RC, John Hammond, come over the horn and give Mark Retchen kudos for leading the lap. I mean, it's not easy. You get one of these laps, it's leading one of these laps against these hyenas, as I like to call them. It is not easy.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Mark's been really running on the road officials and doing really well. He told me I think he won a Ferrari race last week or something or two. So yeah, he's really dialing in on that road racing, and it's paying off because he's leading right now.
I'm curious to see how long he's going to be able to go on fuel. We're 46 minutes into the race. Remember, guys, it's a 1-hour race. So this is exactly what Bryant was talking about 5 minutes ago. Oh, Mark is just going into the pits now. Going into the pits. But Bryant was saying you want to stay out as long as you can because you got that lighter fuel load. Well, that's exactly what Mark Retchen was doing. He was staying out. He was fast. He had his car underneath him. He wanted to lead a lap. You're usually going to lay down some of the fastest laps at the tail end of each run, right, Brian?
Oh yeah, lighter fuel load for sure. It can sometimes flop depending on tire wear, but usually in these road course races, touring cars, GT3s, GT4s, the lighter the fuel load, the lighter the faster laps you put down. But from pit road here, I just got news in. Nathan Bigart, no tires on that pit stop. We can see Mark Retchen's team. Looks like he was. Oh, maybe actually not. No tires for Mark Retchen. It looks like
no tires for Tyler as well.
Tires for Tyler Hammond. Yeah, that's wow. That's surprising.
The tires must be holding up. Yeah, the tires must be holding up. Another piece of analysis that you gave to us earlier that's coming to fruition. Bryant Lucas said it's his temperature, where you're at, how your tires are saving. You probably don't need them. And look, here the top 3 guys pitted, didn't take tires.
So hold on a sec before we get too far. When Mark pitted and he was leading, what is your guys' thoughts and emotions when you're leading a race like that and you're not usually leading the race? Like, man, I still got to pit. I'm leading. I mean, what are your guys' feelings? Like, you're leading the race and you still got to pit. You're like, crap, that sucks.
Well, as far as emotions, I'll let Brian tackle those.
Okay, well, you also want to know what's going through my head is, oh, help me, Tom Cruise! Help, I want to play, please help me! I can't handle it! That's
we add-
exactly what's going through my head.
Can we ghost fuel? That way I can just stay out here in the lead and put fuel in the car at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just
Nope.
highlighting some of these cars that went off the track. Brad Dove just went off the track about 30 seconds ago. Kobe Hartung got a little bit of the dirt. Dove just jumped into the pits after his last spin. Oh, it looks like he just parked it. He towed into the pits. I didn't see much damage on him, but he towed back into the pits. As far as emotions go, that's what we were talking about. How does it feel when you're out front? If you're not generally out front, was that the question?
No. How do you? What's your thoughts going through your head, your emotion? Like, if you're leading a race, but yet you still got a pit, so you know you're gonna have to give that spot back away.
I mean, it's all strategy. You
know what? For
Yeah.
Mark, you know what I'm saying. For Mark's sake, like, he's leading the race and he still had to pit there. It's like, dang, you know, can he, you know?
Well, that's probably why he tried to shorten his pit as best as he can, because he stayed out. He was running excellent times, and once you go in, you want to go in and out. You want to get a splash, just gets enough. Remember, there's only 10 minutes left in the race, right? There's only 10 minutes left in the race, so he doesn't need to fuel up his car in its entirety. All he has to do is just put in just the amount of fuel that he needs to. So technically, that's a great strategy. Stay out as long as you can, because everybody's got to stay out and run that full fuel cycle, and then try to get in and out as quick as you can. And if you can only top off, don't take tires. Usually, you're going to be faster than the next competitor that goes in, takes tires, and takes excess amount of fuel. So there's a lot of fuel calculation and strategy also involved in these types of races. Not only that, just staying on the track. So, I mean, these guys got to be thinking and racing at the same time.
How far back is Mark from Kobe?
Currently, the relative is showing 9.5 seconds behind Kobe. So he gained about a second on Kobe on that pit cycle. Now, Nate pulled on both Kobe and Retchen. So he came in roughly with about a anywhere from a 20 to 25 second lead on him, and Nate's currently 43 seconds from Kobe. Kobe is 9 seconds, or actually it's dropping. What's happening with Kobe? Kobe just entered the pit lane. Did he?
Is this an unscheduled pit, or did he pit?
It looks
already?
like it's an unscheduled pit. Wait a second. Did he go in?
He's not in pit lane.
No, he's not.
He's not.
SDK is acting silly. No, you're right. He's not. So he's roughly about 9 seconds ahead of Mark. Mark is 5 seconds ahead of Tyler. Look at Tyler. He gained on Mark. And then everybody else is a lap down. You got Dave Steiner, Brad Dove, and then Steven Salas for the most part. I think Steven just parked it, to be honest with you. He went out there, laid down some laps, and parked it.
Yeah, I seen Steiner was 2 laps down. He's only a lap down now, so he must have got a lap back. Yeah, it sounds like Nate's just out for a Sunday cruise.
Assuming... Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
There is a battle on racetrack. I know you guys don't see it, but as a road course racer, I'm seeing this. I'm watching an interval battle go down, and this is what these road course drivers love. Take a look at Mark Retchen's lap time. 1:14.5 the last lap. Kobe Hartung, 1:15.7.
Yeah.
All right. He has caught by almost 2 seconds already on Kobe Hartung. He is hunting him down. We got 7 minutes left. It's going to be close. Can Retchen keep the speed up here?
There's a good possibility. He found something. I think what it is he's got that lower fuel. The tires are still warm. He's comfortable with the weight of the car. He's knocking out those laps. You can see Kobe right up front, not too far from him. And you're right. He's cutting into that interval. There's about 7 seconds now, 6 seconds. He's cutting into it.
Makes me wonder. We see that he took an extra 10 seconds on pit lane. makes me wonder, did I miscalculate my pit road time? Does he have fresh tires? Is that what's giving him this great big boost?
Possibly. Let's hope he gets into the booth so we can ask him these questions. But he's definitely laying down quick lap times. His last, Kobe just laid down a 1:15.7. Mark just laid down a 1:14.2. He's getting faster. Oh, he's coming.
Come on, Richard!
That practice he's been doing is paying off. Come on, Mark.
He's got it down. I mean, he's just got to hit his marks. He's going to be pushing. There's no sense in holding back. Now's the time. There's 6 minutes left in the race. Can he cut down basically a second a lap, a tenth a lap, right? What am I saying? Seconds. No, we're right.
It is a second.
It is a second.
You have to keep in mind, he does have more time than 6 minutes because he gets another lap on top of that. So he's got about 7-ish minutes, about 6 minutes and 30 seconds, depending on when Big Art hits that last lap. It all depends on when Big Art hits that lap. Okay, and so it's all, we'll have to see how this pans out here, but he's got a little bit more time than that, but oh man, it's going to be close.
He's really pushing. I'm riding in on board with Mark right here. He's really pushing that car. But remember, guys, he can't. You see Kobe up there. You see him up there, and it makes your guy want to push even harder because you can see the car in front of you. Just don't push it too much because that's when trouble happens.
And if you look at Colby's lap time that last time around, it was a 15:01. He knows Retchen's coming, and he decided to pick up the pace a little bit. Let's see if he can actually keep that pace up.
Oh man, he's pushing that car. Really looks like, it just looks like he's parking around the corners. He's been getting to get off into the sand or the dirt a little bit, but he holds on to it just barely.
5-second gap, about 5 minutes left here for Mark Retchen here at Willow Springs.
Here comes that lap, or here comes that second a lap. That's what he needs.
Hardtongue crosses the line here. He puts down a 1:15.95, almost a 16 there. That's not going to be quick enough as Retchen puts down a 14.37. It's a 4-second gap for Mark Retchen to Kobe Hardtongue.
He's coming. You can definitely tell riding with Mark that Kobe's getting closer and closer.
Hey, Kobe keeps off.
Mark pulls off the track a little bit. He
He's
saves it.
He's got this, I promise. Come on, Retchen!
Wow, this battling's...
No, off the grass. Yeah, he's good.
Wow, this battling's still ensuing. Nate Biggert still holding on to that gap, 43 seconds. Country Cruise, Nate Biggert just cruising. Kobe Hardtongue's pushing. Ran at 1:15.95 last time around.
Hold that thought. Colby's got a lap car, I believe, of Brad Dove right in front of him. So that's going to probably slow Kobe down a little bit trying to get around Dove. Well, Mark gets some more, and he's catching them some more. Here he goes.
Oh my goodness, they touch! Kobe gets around them. Let's see if Retchen can see him now. He is right in front of him. He can see him now.
He's got to get around Dove.
Big news. Kobe Hardtongue, a 16.55. Mid-16s, way slow. Mark Retchen a little slower that lap, 15.03. Yeah, he went off track a couple of times.
Yeah, hopefully he gets up to Dove here. Hopefully Dove will let him go by. And he won't have to battle him too much and lose a little bit of ground. But if he gets him by cleanly, there's going to be a race on our hands, I believe.
Michael Strickland called it out. He said a second a lap, and he was dead on the money. 3 seconds to Kobe Hardtongue for Mark Retchen. He got held up by a little bit there by Dove.
Yeah, Dove slammed on the brakes a little bit, and Mark had to hit his brakes a little harder. So, but he got by him there. So now he's got Kobe in front of him. Can he catch him?
Tyler Hammond did go off the track, lost a little bit of speed. There he is spinning. He spun it. He's about 22 seconds in back of Mark, but he saved the car. He just got into the dirt a little bit. Let's go back to Mark.
Yeah.
Let's jump back in Mark's cockpit. This is where the action's at. This is where the race is going to be won or lost. 3 minutes to go. Can Mark get to him?
Colby
Mark sees
Hardtongue picked up the pace. He saw him in the background there. 1:15.29 for Hardtongue, 1:15.21 for Retchen. It's not going to be enough for Retchen. Retchen's got to put down the hammer here. He was running 14s before. He needs to go back to 14s, or has he abused the tires too much?
And we were talking about drivers earlier. Who's going to make it difficult once you get to their bumper? Colby Hardtongue was that one driver everybody brought up that's almost impossible to pass. He's got it.
Yeah,
he's down to 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds.
Yeah, if he gets the Kobe's back in here, Kobe's not going to let him by, especially being for position and towards the end of the race here. So
this might be the last lap. We got the ticker is 59 minutes 35 seconds. If this is not the last lap, it's the next one.
This is 2 to go. 2 to go this time, boys and girls. Probably Hardtongue had a hard time to 5 and 6 that time around.
He might get one opportunity, maybe.
He's going to get basically a whole extra minute here to get it done. A full second quicker than Colby Hardtongue that time. He's got to make up 2 seconds. He's got 2 laps to do it.
He's going to have one opportunity. And we're going to have a race on our hands, boys. Because like I said, Colby's not going to let him by.
We still got Biggert leading. He's comfortably in the lead, 43 seconds. Colby is 1.85 seconds in front of Retchen. Tyler's 22 seconds behind. And then we got David Steiner, and Brad Dove, and Steven Salas.
Oh,
come on, Retchen.
Retchen gets a little loose there. He's really pushing it. He took that left-hander and went over that little hump there, and it about threw him sideways, but he ended up saving that.
Oh, so Colby just came on the chat. I'm not sure if you guys heard that, and said he was struggling seeing the track, but now that Retchen's right behind him, he's just illuminated the track for him, so now he can see it.
This is such a true statement by Colby Hardtongue. If you've gone to these tracks, it's mid-darkness. And you guys, if you're going to race these 24 hours of Nürburgring here in May, you're going to realize how dark the track really gets. You need those cars behind you. You kind of need that team to give you that light to see those corners there. That time around, Mark Retchen was half a second quicker. He's got to make up a second and a half on this lap. This is last lap right here.
It looks like we miscalculated. This is the end of the race. They just crossed the start-finish line, and that was the last lap. So yeah. Colby Hardtongue was able to fend him off. Nate Biggert, there he is in the dirt doing some donuts. Congratulations, Nate Biggert. He ended up winning the race. Colby Hardtongue's going to finish second. Mark Retchen, what an effort. What an effort to try to run down Colby, third place. Let's not forget Tyler Hammond had a heck of a race. David Steiner, the points leader today, just struggled. Maybe it's not the track. He likes them European tracks. This America swing is not looking good for Steiner, but he's going to rebound next week. Brad Dove, we appreciate you guys showing up, 6th place, and then obviously Steven Salas in the GTP class ended up winning. What a race, guys. What a race.
Yeah, what a race by everybody. Nathan Biggert just absolutely took off and sailed away. Colby, I mean, every race it seems like we have that one battle, and tonight was Colby and Mark.
And I gotta apologize to everybody. I was dealing it on SDK to give me that white flag like it usually did. It did not this time, so I apologize to the broadcast on that faulty call. That was 100% on me.
That's okay. These timed events like that, sometimes the data, the telemetry that's provided to us is not on the money, and that's all it was tonight. But congratulations to Nate Biggert, Colby Hardtongue, and Mark Retchen for the top 3. We definitely got to get these guys up into the booth. And then Steven Salas, congratulations on his win on the GTP class. We're going to take a quick little commercial break. We're going to be rounding up the drivers. We're going to bring them up to the top. And then we're going to have Robert Church and Bryant Lucas interview the top 3 guys, Nathan Biggert, Kobe Hartung, and Mark Retchen. All right, we're muted. Let's bring those guys up. What a hell of a race, dude. Ready? I'll introduce him. I'll drag him in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We rounded up the top 3 drivers in the GT3 series. We're going to bring in the man himself, Mr. Mark Retchen, finishing top 3. Mark, what's going on, buddy? Give me a second.
You there?
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm sweating bullets. That's what's happening.
We're going to let Bryant and Robert handle the interviewing duties, but hell of a race, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. I made a push there. I tried my hardest.
Oh, Mark, first thing I got to ask you. You had a 22-second pit stop, I believe. Did you take tires? Mark?
Gotcha, bro. Go ahead. Sorry.
Did you take tires on that pit stop there?
I did, man. I had to. I was debating. And then it's so dicey when you have to go to that black box and uncheck tires. So I was just like, screw it. I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna leave it as is and stick them on there and just hope for the best. Yeah. Did Kobe not take tires?
I am not sure if he did or not. I joined late, but Tyler Hammond and Nathan Biggart did not take tires. So you were one of the people who did. Yeah, I think you may have been the only person that took tires in the race. Honestly, that was up front. But we saw you tracking him down. I'm like, no, I don't think he took tires. And I was like, oh no, he had to have taken tires there. I saw that battle from 10 seconds out. How far out did you see that battle coming from?
Every time I got to, man, I can't think of the turn. It kept telling me, I'm getting closer. And every lap, I was getting closer. And sure, yeah, 10, it went down 9, 8, and then all of a sudden I was at 4, and then we caught Brad, and I was thinking, oh well, here we go. We got a little traffic. He'll get bothered, but yeah, he got by him smooth. I got by Brad smooth also, but I think it just held me up just a smidge more than him. And yeah, he just had enough to get me there at the end, man. But I was pushing so hard. I'm sweating bullets right now, man. I was pushing so hard.
We were so focused on you, dude. I saw that battle and I was like, this is going to be a good one. Just barely short. You think if you had another lap, do you think you would have got him?
I'd hate to say yeah, and I'd hate to say no. It's just it would have been I would have gave it my best, man. I would have tried to push it in the corner and try to get beside him. I mean, Kobe is he's outstanding, you know. Nate's outstanding, David, Brad, all these guys are outstanding, you know, and man, I would have tried. I definitely would have tried. I would have had nothing to lose, you know. I would have hated to wreck us both, but man, I would have put it in there and hope for the best. Yes, I would have tried. I think I might have. I'll go there. I think I might have had enough.
One more question. I'm gonna hand you over to Churchy. Um, we saw you there at the end. You were pushing like none other, and like you said, you've been sweating your butt off. My question is, um, you were pushing really hard. Could you feel the tire fall off? Because with these road course cars, you push these tires, you push them too far, they'll just completely fall off a cliff on you. Did you start to feel that cliff there and have to slow down? What was the feeling there with you pushing those tires that hard?
No, I actually this car handled so good here. I think I found a little bit, and the fall off really was not bad. I don't even think I could. I mean, now that you say it, I don't. I could have not taken tires, like, you know, but I was just like, is everybody else? That was the biggest question. And as far as fall off, man, somewhat, but not a lot. They stuck every corner pretty much, and you just had to be on your point and, you know, when to apex the corner, when to brake, everything, get on the gas. But yeah, man, not hardly any fall off. That's why I think they didn't take tires. I think they knew, why not, you know, stick with them.
Yeah, so just real quick before I hand you to Church, it was a 10-second difference on pit road between tires and no tires. Thoughts?
Damn it. Yeah, no, man. Yeah, there it was. You know, it's um, I'm probably right there with him. But then again, you never know. It's a gamble. He may have a better setup than I do, you know, and he may have walked for me, but I don't know. I gave it my all, and that's all I can ask for, you know.
Well, Mark, it was a pleasure to interview you, man. I'm so glad you're back. Robert Church, what you got for me, my man?
Dude, bro, third. Heck yeah, man. Good job. These guys asked me at the beginning, you know, if you had to pick one or two drivers, who would it be? And I picked you, man. I was hoping I was hoping you'd win it and everything like that. And you know, you came up a little short, but you're a winner in my book, dude, because that performance, your your official practices are really paying off.
Yeah, dude. I spent I think I did like 30 races at Laguna Seca last past week in the Ferrari, and this car's it's similar, but those are all fixed races, man, and I really didn't have no tune up. And then today I hopped in, went with the bread and butter that I always use. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, and man, it felt good. I know I passed Tyler there early. I hope I didn't get into him. That's the only thing I worry about. I'm on single screen, so if I did, sorry. I think I got him clean. I'd never seen something come on my screen that said contact, so I hope I did it clean. And then, yeah, man, I gave it my all tonight. Yeah, for sure, man.
Well,
I tried to stick every corner, and sometimes I was taking them real wide, and I'd get in the dirt just a little bit there late. But that was just trying to catch Colby, man, because I knew I had a shot. Because, like I said, every time I got to the one corner, it kept telling me, "You're gaining on him. You're gaining on him." I'm like, "Oh my God, shut up, man! You're gonna jinx me, man."
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, it's definitely a broadcast you're going to want to go back and watch because we rode with you through that in the end car, and we're talking. You know, seeing him get closer and closer and closer just makes a guy want to push a little harder, a little harder, a little harder. And there was a few times we could tell that you were pushing it all with all she had because you kind of go off the track a little bit on those corners. But you know, what a hell of a race, man. Good job.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Like I said, I gave it my flat out all, and Third, I'll take it. It's a win
Yep.
for me.
There's always next week, man. There's always next week.
Yes, sir.
Congrats, Mark. Congrats, buddy. Make sure you give your shout outs to whoever you want to give them to.
Yeah, buddy. Man, Chop Shop, man. I love Chop Shop. Had a little bit of a brain fart there last week, and yeah, I think I'm back in the groove. I think I've got my head on straight. So definitely you guys for being top notch, and I love you guys to death. Yeah, other than that, all these guys that came out, I know Steven probably disappointed that he was the only GTP, but these guys in GT3 are, man, they're top notch. Nate for sure, Colby, David. I don't know what happened to David. I thought I saw him wreck, but man, he's excellent. Tyler, man, outstanding. And Brad, we all gave it our all. So yeah, kudos to them, and yeah, I had fun. I appreciate you guys.
Good job, buddy. Good job. We're gonna drag you back down there, and drag Kobe up here, get his insight. But hell of a race, top 3 for Mark Retchen, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mark Retchen. All right, now we have Kobe Hartung, second place in the GT3 series. Kobe, walk us through it. What did you see? What were your battles? And then we'll have Robert and Bryant pick your brain.
Couldn't see shit. That's what I saw. This track was not built for a night race. I'll tell you that. I definitely did not have the right settings for a night race or whatever. I should have adjusted like the gamma and the brightness and stuff because I could not see a single corner I went into when it got dark, and I was struggling. I couldn't even find the race line. I couldn't even find the track at some points. I don't know how I got it home in second. It was bad. It was bad.
We caught a glimpse of a piece of audio where when Mark was running you down, and then when he got right to you, within a couple car lengths, you said thanks for getting there or something like that. Now I can see the track. So we knew he was illuminating the track for you, and that's kind of how you held him off. I mean, once he got to you, you were able to fend him off.
That was the only time that race after it got dark where I could see the next corner.
Yeah, crazy race. I saw earlier in the race, I saw you wheeling the car a little bit more than some of the other guys. Did you run a custom setup? Did you run an iRacing set? I mean, it looked like you were wheeling the car a little bit more than everybody else was.
I was running my Petite Le Mans endurance setup.
Okay.
I was able to keep it with Nate until he, chopped my nose off. But yeah, I was running my Petite Le Mans Road Atlanta setup because I thought the track kind of drove similar, but it really ended up to not matter. I could have had a Talladega setup on my GT3 and still ran the same at the end there when it got dark because it was pitch black.
We didn't anticipate that, but I'm going to let Brian pick up where I left off. Kobe, congratulations on your top 2. I'm impressed. You couldn't see anything and still came in with a second. That just showcases how good you truly are. Bryant?
Colby, man, I get to interview you 2 nights in a row, dude. Third last night, second tonight, and I was gonna call that out on stream. I'm like, this track is very similar to Road Atlanta. You're 100% right. But also, it's similar to Road Atlanta is all of those dang blind corners. How are those blind corners treating you tonight?
Every corner was blind. I mean, Road Atlanta is better because it actually has lights. This track has no lights at all.
Road Atlanta usually gets pretty dang dark.
Oh no, not nearly as dark. It at least has lights spread out around the track. Road Atlanta, you could at least see because I have done endurance races there. You could still run at full speed and full sound. Here, no, this track is absolutely not built for the dark. I very much personally think it should have been ran in the daytime, and I'm everybody else had that issue as well. We were, I think, five of the 7 of us in there were all in the same chat, and we all found the same problems too. Um, Especially Steiner, he couldn't see the last corner, and he just kept dying.
It's hard, dude. Blind, like you add blind, like this course already has enough blind corners as it is. You add the dark to it, and it just takes it to a whole nother level. Um, Tires at the end. What did you take tires on your pit stop?
I did because I thought it would do something, but it turns out it wasn't the tires slowing me down. It was I can't see slowing me down.
That I would have to agree with that. Mark Retchen also took tires on his last stop. I believe he pitted a lot later than you, though. Do you feel the tires are falling off, or was it just pure blindness as well, or were you sliding?
It wasn't light enough to push 100%. I don't even think I got below like 95% on my tires, to be honest. I never got to the point after it got dark to hear them like squeak. I was tiptoeing around the track.
Well, I think that answers Mark Retchen's question. There's some regret for tires for him. Robert Church?
Kobe, good job, man. P2. You were talking about, the blind corners in the dark and you couldn't see and stuff. Now, is that a thing in these cars, like overdriving your headlights?
No, not really. It was, in my opinion, completely the track. Because I mean, the Le Mans race was at night too, and I had no problems with that. We've had some other night races and no problems with those, but difference between those tracks and this one is the track was lit, which it makes a big difference. I mean, you couldn't even see the flag stand. The only lights on the track were the pit boxes.
Right. When you're catching Brad Dove there, when Retchen was behind you and you were coming up on Dove, did you let Dove know, hey, I'm coming, dude, and I got to get it by you quick because you got somebody following you right behind me?
Oh no, it wasn't even that. I honestly was, I don't know. I just kind of figured my way around him because he was messing around with us, and the only thing we had in that last corner was a little like cone or whatever, and Dove decided that he wanted to take that cone out, and so he took out our only reference on the whole track, and the first corner after that I completely blew it. So it was impossible to drive at full speed. I don't know how Nate did it. He must have had some good settings on him for a race with no lights. But if you want a similar experience, go to Talladega and start your race at 9 p.m. and that's what it will look like.
Well, congratulations on P2, man. You guys were definitely the two. The battle of the night, the battle of the track. Nate just had a walk in the park once he got up there. And P2, man, give you shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to y'all for putting on this broadcast. Shout out to Striker and John for putting on this league. And yeah, shout out to the people that showed up and tried to survive this track. But yeah, I survived. That's all I could ask for.
Yeah, congratulations, Kobe, on your second place finish. You're hearing it here. It was difficult. I mean, a lot of these guys were talking about it was cookie cutter track, but evidently when you can't see, it turns into Nürburgring at night. So, good job finishing.
By far hardest race on the schedule.
By far the hardest race on the schedule. We're going to get Nate's thought process on it. We want to congratulate you on your second place finish. Hell of a job wheeling and dealing like you did, finishing second. You had Mark coming at you. So good job. Congratulations. And we're going to see you next week in the playoffs, Kobe.
Yeah, see, by the way, Nate used the racing line. Dog him for that.
Okay. All right, let's bring in the race winner, the GT3 winner, Mr. Nathan Biggert, also known as Big Art. What's up, Nate? How did it go? Tell us about it. It seems like the common theme here is everybody that's blind, that doesn't have 20/20 vision, couldn't see in the dark. But it didn't seem to be a problem for you.
Well, I think I might have made it look better, but it was an issue, man. I think this track is difficult to begin with, where it doesn't have hardly any markers on the track to know where your braking is, where the corner is. It's hard to see in the daytime. Never mind when it started getting dark, it really got difficult to see the turns, find a good spot for a braking zone. It was a tough run for sure. Like I think most of us, just recently purchased the track, so I think we all struggled a bit tonight with trying to find our way around this thing.
Yeah, that was a common theme. Mark said the same thing. Kobe said the same thing. That the darkness was a concern. Wasn't a lot of markers. In Kobe's case, Mark getting up to his bumper actually helped him out a lot because he illuminated more of the track for him. You were about 43 seconds ahead of the field, so you were out in the pitch darkness in the black hole at Willow Springs. Man, what a run. Congratulations. Not a lot of excitement. I mean, earlier in the race, Kobe was giving you a run for money, and then you ended up pulling away, and then you as you normally do, you hit your pit stops properly, and then you got a gap, and then was able to manage it. So congratulations on your first place finish. I'm going to let Brian and Robert pick your brain here a little bit, and let's see what they come up with.
I was going to talk to you about braking markers, braking markers, braking markers. You're in the middle of this long endurance. You race these long endurance races. You're in the middle of a long endurance race, and some idiot takes out your cones that you're using for your brake markers, and then you wreck because of it. Is that kind of what it felt like tonight with this track with the very few brake markers it does have to begin with?
Yeah, it was difficult, man. Like I said, I just recently purchased the track, did some practice with the line on for about like 8-10 laps, and just got a feel for, a general region of where I should be braking and getting back on the throttle, and had no indication. I guess I didn't pay close enough attention that it was going to get dark in this race, but just kind of got comfy with the track, shut the line off in practice, did some more laps, and got close to that speed. And in the start of the race, took it real easy. I think I got the pole, so I was trying to keep the field behind me, but also just get a good feel for it again, and work my way up to get faster. And I think Colby pushed me to that point a little quicker than I wanted to. He made that move, and I was like, all right, I got to just go here. And if I wreck, I wreck. But luckily was able to get it done. But yeah, that last turn was really sketchy because it's such a high-speed corner, and it's blind, especially at nighttime. There is that one little cone there, and you really needed that to be able to see. And I understand where Colby was coming from when Stryker was saying, when you got closer to other cars, it was definitely easier to gauge where the track was. Because I noticed when I caught somebody those last couple of laps, it made it a lot easier where I could see him go through the corner, and I was like, oh, it just made it so much easier. So it was fun, challenging, and awesome to get a win tonight.
Yeah, this is a world-renowned racetrack. Some of the best people in the world have died here and won here. Such a historic track. Does it feel good to win at this track specifically?
Well, honestly, I think I'm very new to it, and I don't really understand the significance. I think I just got into road racing when I joined iRacing, so I don't know a lot of the history of this track or really any road series in particular to begin with. So I look forward to learning more as I go. I've definitely, in the last year of becoming an iRacer, get more and more involved in watching some IMSA races. I have yet to see any live TV show races at this track, but hopefully someday get to learn a little bit more of it.
Definitely not a popular live TV track, that is for sure. But you ever seen Ford versus Ferrari?
Yeah, I've seen that movie. Yep.
See, the very end of that movie, oh, I don't know. I had his name literally 10 seconds ago. Where he passes away, that was at this particular racetrack. We lost a legend here during practice here for that amazing Ford car. So this track carries a lot of history, a lot of racing careers are built here. Definitely not a track that was built for GT3s though, and you could definitely feel it tonight. Did the track feel sophisticated for the GTs?
No, I liked it. I thought it felt great. Reminded me a lot of, the quick but fast laps at Road Atlanta. That was actually the setup that I ran because I couldn't find one for this track, and we're running open setup. So that's actually I ran a Road Atlanta track setup, and it drove well on it, and it reminded me a lot of it.
Sorry, name popped back in my head. Ken Miles. Ken Miles passed away here during testing for that Ford GT, but heck of a job. And I was thinking that, I'm sitting there driving in the truck before I got here. I was like, man, this is going to be a lot like Road Atlanta tonight. And it certainly was. A lot of blind corners, fast turns. Robert, what do you think?
Well, I've taken one thing for sure off of tonight from everybody's saying. They need more track lights here for night racing.
Yeah.
But anyway, Nate, I mean, you got up front and you set sail. For just buying the track and everything, hell of a job, man. I had something I was going to tell you. Oh, a little bit of track history for this track of Willow Springs. This track is the oldest permanent road course in the United States. So
Really? Well,
yep.
I got a fun fact for you. This track was featured in Playboy magazine in July of 2013.
Nice. I didn't find that one, but I also found that if you want to go check this track out sometime, it's an hour north from Los Angeles, California. There is 3 hotels that I forgot to talk about in the race. There is 3 hotels right next to the track, one of them being a Best Western, Bryant. So
Oh, man.
check this track out sometime. I can let you know where some hotels are. There's some right there.
Oh. I'm Best Western material, apparently, Nate. What do you think about that?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm a Marriott snob, all right? I'm a Marriott snob, dude. Come on, gotta get that Marriott.
But hey, you bought the track tonight. You ended up pulling out and winning. You buy a lot. Off to the next. I don't even know where we're at next week. Does anybody know?
Well, we're starting the playoffs next week at Mount Panorama, Bathurst.
Oh, man. Oh, that's going to be a doozy.
Next week is a bye week, and then we'll be starting that.
What's your thoughts after the bye week on the Mount Panorama?
I love the track. I think it's a great way to start the playoffs, and definitely looking forward to it. I know all the guys in this GT3 series have a lot of experience there, so it's going to be a tough battle. I know Colby, Wesley, Dave, Caffrey, they're all really fast at that track, so look for a much tighter, hard-fought battle in that race coming up.
Right. And just to let you know, in the GT3 standings, you're 51 points behind David Steiner. David Steiner had problems tonight. When you win in the race, you're going to be able to gain some here. So it might be a fight to the finish.
Yeah, absolutely. We ain't going to let him run away with it, that's for sure.
Good race, Nate. Good win, man. Give your shout-outs.
Yeah, just shout out to VVR sponsoring this year road series. Shout out to the drivers coming out. I think everyone did a great job, doing their best, buying the track for this year race. It shows the dedication to ChopShop. Shout out to ChopShop themselves. Chop TV, you guys doing the broadcast. All the fans watching, and number 1 fan, Mom, love you.
All right, there you go. You heard it from the current champion at Willow Springs. Technically, it's the fastest road race in the West. You won the American West Coast Spring. Congratulations, Nate. We're going to catch you out in Australia in about 2 weeks. He's not lying. You guys better check in. It's going to be hot. It's going to be fast. There's a lot of good guys. We got 3 Australians in the league. They're going to try to win their hometown race. So congratulations, Nate. We're going to catch you. We're going to catch you in the Discord later after this broadcast. But again, hell of a job. You did, you murdered it. You killed the track even when you couldn't see it. So congrats, buddy. It's always a pleasure. And shout out to your mom. What's your mom's name?
Jeanette.
Jeanette. You bred a winner, Jeanette. Good job, girl. So we appreciate you, Jeanette, for having Nate Nate jumping in and racing with us. Thank you very much. I hope you're out there rooting your son on. Great win today. Good job, Nate. We're gonna
Thank
drag. Yep, no problem. We're gonna drag Nate down in here. And gentlemen, all right. So that was a great race. I mean, that was Willow Springs. Um, Final thoughts. I mean, what are we thinking?
Well, it sounds like we're off for a bye week next week, which will give these guys a little bit of a break. But yeah, that Mount Panorama Bathurst. It sounds like it's a really big road race. Bryant would have to tell you more on that. But one thing that we didn't really mention much in the race today was our signature sponsor, Virtual Velocity Racing, and Tim Lee. We just want to give a big thanks to him for allowing us to do this for him. It's a lot of fun, and we couldn't do it without him. So big shout out to Tim Lee at VVR. Bryant,
Absolutely.
tell us about the next race.
Oh, dude. Bathurst is difficult, dude. It is a half street course. It is, oh man, it's tight. You have a lot of tight turns. The car likes to slide out from underneath you. It is definitely a very difficult track. You got the 12 hours of Bathurst that happens here every year. Actually, already happened this year. Happened more towards Sebring, but it was quite a battle there this year. But it is a very tight racetrack. A lot of skill to drive this racetrack. So expect a lot of the technical drivers to come out. And I'm just gonna predict it now. David Steiner wins at Mount Panorama. I'm gonna throw a prediction out there right now. I know bold.
That's not very bold. David is the points. David is the points leader. He currently, I mean, mathematically, I think David ended up winning the GT3 Championship Series. So he's going to gain some extra bonus points heading into the next race. We run a little bit different playoff format than most of these road racers are accustomed to. Usually their format is going to be more structured towards total points, where we run it similar to what NASCAR does, even on this road series. So basically what happens is all these drivers take their bonus points they've earned for winning stages and winning races throughout the regular season, and they carry those over into the playoffs. So David Steiner, if my math serves me correctly, is the 2024 VVR GT3 champion, and he's going to take all his bonus points, and then get an extra 20 bonus points heading into the playoffs. So not only is he going to be the number one seed, we're heading into his home track. I'm not going to say I'm not willing to say he's going to dominate that race, because I know Michael Caffrey is going to practice all week to get ready for that race if they haven't done so already, and they're going to be fast. So it's going to be a great race. You definitely got to tune in. Playoffs are going to heat up. We had a smaller field today, probably just because it's Willow Springs, and it's just one of those tracks that a lot of guys don't have. Be sure to tune in next week. I want to thank Robert Church and Bryant Lucas for jumping into the booth with us today. Robert made a huge mention to Tim Lee at Virtual Velocity Racing, our proud main sponsor here. We appreciate them. VVR does run an excellent Cup series as well. If at any point you guys are interested, we have Discord links as well as their Facebook page on the broadcast, as well as our website. Visit us at ChopShopRacing.net to get all the information, broadcasting, all of the good stuff that we'll be able to provide. Come and join us. Have fun. Currently, we're allowing a lot of entries at no cost. So if you guys are interested, come on down, race with us. Let's have some fun. Again, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Any last thoughts before we call it a night?
We're off next week and off to Bathurst the following in Australia, so that ought to be a good race. Tonight sounded like a great race. That the track just needs some more lights.
That's right. Yeah, we started in late afternoon, So if you caught the race towards the tail end, it looks like we started the race at night, but it was late afternoon. So they got about 20, 25 minutes of dusk racing, and then it went into dark. I know the majority of these interviews at the tail end was, oh, I couldn't see, or it was so dark. I mean, there's not a single stadium light here at Willow Springs. It's probably not designed to be raced at night. However, these are GT3 cars. You got lights. You got anti-lock brakes. I mean, you got lights, you got anti-lock brakes. You can do it. Stop complaining. You're going to be fine. Enjoy Willow Springs for what it is, the fastest race in the West Coast. And, I mean, I had a blast. I had a blast running it with you guys. I thank you very much, Brian. I know your lips are quivering. You want to say something?
But yeah, no, it's a big theme tonight. I have to agree with Michael on that. The theme was a difficult track, but this track is so difficult because it's a historic landmark, and they if you notice, everything here is old-fashioned as heck. Very old-fashioned. No lights, no turn markers. It's a historic track, and it's been kept historic, and they have no plans on changing this racetrack, and that is a lot of the stuff that the drivers ran into is just this track's history and people wanting to keep it the way it was. And so you're running into that. And then one other takeaway I had for this race is that apparently I'm staying at a Best Western. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully when we go out and visit, we stay at that Best Western. Stay away from those blood-stained sheets. Make sure they get those changed for you. All right, gentlemen, we appreciate everybody. Thank you very much for coming out, spending time with us on this Wednesday afternoon here in the States. We thank you for everybody. We appreciate everybody out there watching us. Make sure to subscribe and like ChopShop TV, ChopShop_TV at YouTube. We broadcast all kinds of stuff. I think we're playing a Madden franchise as well, so you'll catch those frequently. Make sure you root for your favorite driver as well as your favorite football star. But we will catch you in about a week at Mount Panorama in Australia. So we're going to catch you then, boys. Appreciate everybody. Thank you very much. Signing out. All right, we're out. Good job, guys. Good job. I'm going to drag you boys down.